Good day, one and all. I was watching a video the other night by Tina Zinck. I believe that's how you say her name. It's Z-I-N-C-K. She was doing a technique with inks and embossing folders, and I just fell in love with it, so I wanted to give it a try. So today we're going to be doing that. We're going to be making another 5x7 card, and this time I'm going to be using the Spellbinders. It's the 3D embossing folder of the month for August 2023. And I don't know what the name of it was, but it's these beautiful flowers. And I'm going to be making 5x7 cards. So we have our cardstock, 10 inches by 7 inches. Crease it at 5 inches, fold it over, and score it. We need 3 pieces of paper for this card. Just a patterned cardstock of your choosing. And I'm going to ink up the edges, so we're even going to change the color of this. This measures 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And then I have the gold mirror cardstock from Spellbinders, which is 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. And then a piece of white cardstock. This is the Nina Solar White. This is 4 3/4 by 6 5/16. And I've got a little fraying there, so I'm just going to use my nail file. Just get these at the Dollar Tree, just to even off the edges. And you want to cut this piece, when you're using this folder, down to the size you want it at first, because otherwise, I'll show you when I get further on that why you want to cut it first. So we're going to get started. I'm just going to move I thought I'd organize a little bit better today, so everything is in the 2 trays. And let's get going. We're going to start by coloring our embossing folder. Now there's 2 sides to this. One is the raised side where the design pops up, and the other side where the design pops down. Normally, this side is the side you want up because this impresses through. But we're going to color the side that sticks up. And I'm going to be doing, I'll get a piece of scratch paper here so that you and I can see the colors on this folder better. And I'm going to start with the GinaK Passionate Pink. You can choose any color flowers at all you want for this. I'm just going to take my ink and put it directly on the embossing folder. And it does not matter one iota whether you keep it on your flower or it moves off onto the card at all. This is going to turn out gorgeous looking no matter what you do. And I am really thankful that Tina did this video because it opened up a whole new avenue to me for making cards. And I love it. See, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll do one more pink. I think I'm going to grab this one on this side. Even though my paper that I'm going to be putting in this folder is only a short piece, I'm doing the whole thing, as I'll show you why once I get this done. Now I'm going to take out the GinaK Designs Dark Lilac. This is just for the little tiny flowers here. And again, it doesn't matter if you miss a flower. It's whatever color is on top. That's the color you're going to use. And I'm sorry, you're probably hearing my cat banging and pounding at the door because Pumpkin wants in the basement today. I let them out in the garage to run because it's a beautiful day and they love to go play on the garage floor. But Pumpkin likes to come in and visit Mama, and he can't do that on days that I'm doing messy things like this. So I got that on that flower, and that's okay. It really isn't going to matter. I'll just take a little bit more of the pink and just cover that up a little bit. Tone it down some. Now, I didn't have GinaK ink in blue that I liked. I only have one blue of hers. So I'm using Catherine Puller's Suede Shoes. I tried this with some Tim Holtz colors that were a lighter tone, and it worked, but I wasn't happy with the color of the blue. This is an excellent shade of blue once we get this done. Now, I'm just going to go back to the pink and put a little bit of blue in the center of each flower. It'll kind of turn it slightly purple. I know it's probably looking like a hot mess right now, but that's okay. Then for the green, I did try her fresh asparagus, grass green, jelly bean green, but they weren't bright enough. And I'll show you that later too. The Lucky Clover is the color I found to be the perfect color green for this technique. And now I'm just going to put it on the greenery, anywhere that there's green. And this one has lots of vines and leaves. It's a beautiful embossing folder. And I'll show you what it looks like on the non-colored side when we get done here. Pumpkin, please go back upstairs. You can't come in right now, sweetie. I know. I apologize. You can probably hear him. And I think there was a flower up there I missed with the purple. I shouldn't need to ink up my... No, I don't. Okay, we've got that colored. And you can take your time. You don't have to hurry with this. Now I'm going to pick where I want this to be, because once I put it down, it's going to stay there. And I'll just fold it over. And I actually brought my Spellbinders over to show you. It's quite large and will take up the table, I'm afraid. I brought it over because I'm going to be doing both steps at once here, and I need both. Now we're just going to run this through, and I have the new sandwich plate. You just put the platform base down and then your D adapter plate on top and run this through. I like this machine for doing the 3D folders, but for die cutting, I'm not real fond of it. This is what it comes out looking like. And then this is what the other side, this is the side you would normally have up on your card, the embossed side, but we're going to be using the debossed side. Now this is what I found most fascinating about Tina's video. You see all that ink that's left on your folder? Don't want to waste it, she says. So I just take water, spritz it all over, get it nice and wet. And then just take a piece of cardstock that will fit inside this folder, close it up, and we're going to run it back through the machine. And this is amazing. If you try doing it without getting it wet, it looks pretty, but it is so pale that you almost can't see it. Okay, we're about to open it up here. And voila, you've got a nice watercolored image of that folder. And we'll set that aside to dry, as I'm not going to be doing anything with it on this project. And now I just clean off the extra water and dye. Just an old rag. Okay, and we're done with the embossing machine, so I'll set that back down on the floor here. Aha! I was making some Easter cards earlier and I thought I lost a die cut, and there it was on the bottom of the machine. Okay, now to get this back. Now I'll show you why we needed to pre-cut this first, because I had done this earlier today and I was playing around with it. If you don't pre-cut the size card you need with this particular embossing folder, when you do cut it down to size, let's see if you can see that, it takes the flower center chunks, these little purple flowers, they come out, so you've got a really ragged edge. No matter if you're using a guillotine or the slicing cutter, it did it either way. And this is one I did earlier today using that Lucky Clover green. Let me see if I have one where I did the, yeah. And I'm not going to do what else she did in her video. but I'll show you here. This is what I played with earlier today, and this is beautiful. I'm actually going to cut this down and make a card front from it. But she took her dark color ink pads and just ran them down. Of course, she did all one color. I was trying various colors. This is dark carnation. This is sage. This is turquoise sea. This is chocolate brown, and that's black. But you see here on the green, that's what I was talking about earlier. This, I was using the grass green, and it is so pale, you can barely see the green. And that's why I upped it to this color. And I did that in a couple other colors, too. I also did it in, this is light carnation, which is beautiful. And I could see that would make a beautiful Mother's Day card. This is the dark sage again. And then this is dark chocolate. And the colors I used for here were tranquil teal for the blue. And that's why I went with the blue here. I mean, I went with the Catherine Polar blue here. It just came up brighter. And earlier today I also did the watercolor one, and this is how when it's dry it looks. And you can see on the other side because the ink seeped through because it was wet, but that's what it looks like when it's dry. I did some other colors here. This is peach Bellini, light carnation, medium spruce. That was the whole side. I was trying to go the whole way, and I thought, you know what? Instead of doing like 6 of these all in different colors, I'll just do stripes of different colors to see what it looks like. You can also do this technique with other embossing folders. I use the Spellbinders 3D embossing folder of the month for September 23, which is the mushrooms. And it came out quite nice. Here's how it looks. Very pale colors. And then that's what it looks like when you put the ink over it. This is the wet one. You can tell the wet one will be wet and the colors are lighter. And on here, I did all sorts of funky colors. And this would be kind of neat. These are the only 2 3D embossing folders I have that have like flowers or nature scenes. The rest are geometric designs. So I thought, okay, what if I do this? Can I do this with a regular embossing folder, a plain old non-3-dimensional? So I picked up this, let's see, probably, it's a Doris, it's a peacock. I don't know if you can see that. And I did, again, opened it up and put the ink on the raised side. And this is the watercolored version. It's okay, but nothing special. But I moved it over here. This is watercolored with darker inks, and then I took the dark sage and chocolate and mixed it together, and it kind of gives a grunge look, which is so not my style. But I'm going to challenge myself to make a grungy style card with this somehow, some way. But it shows you can do it with regular embossing folders. All right, so let's get back to making this card. The next step is taking this purple, and I want it to match the purple here. So I'm going to take my dark lilac ink again and just darken the edges. Just to give it a slightly darker color, because it looks all right, but it looks much better up against the darker color. No, pumpkin, you can't come in right now, sweetheart. I know. You could take your ink pad and just go right against the edges. But I don't have any re-inkers of this, so I really don't want to waste the ink if I can do it this way. I think it uses slightly less ink doing it this way, and it still looks good. And that's how that'll look. Just like that. All right. Now, we will layer these together. purple goes down first and then the gold. So you're just going to see a little bit of the purple showing. And then this will go on top. And I have my Tombow Mono glue here. You can use any glue, tape runner. Yeah, this one's stuck again. That's what I get for setting them aside and not putting the cap on. I try to store them upside down so that the glue is always ready when I need it. I was using it earlier today and I don't think I was very careful. Now this will go on here, just like that. And then this, and the other side is just gorgeous. You know, this side I want to put, I'm going to do some foam tape on the back of that just to raise it up a little bit, which will help having the embossed side. It'll give it a little something to stick to. Oh, I shifted that. Let's get that back straight. I'll set that there. I'm just using a 1/2 inch foam tape, and it's low loft, so it doesn't sit up very high. I just want to cut that off. You can use any tape glue that you have. You don't have to go out and buy anything special. I was just so excited when I saw Tina's video. It's like, oh, I've got to try this. And now I think I'm in love with it. Yes, Pumpkin, I hear you. Well, this tape. Use what you have. Okay, now I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue on top of this tape. Just a little, not a lot. And this one's almost empty. So I'll use, let's use my art glitter glue here. Just a smidge. This gives a little float room when I go to stick it down on top of that gold so that it doesn't move on me. And I'm going to stand up to do that. And I see that gold did shift again. That gold really shifted. I'm going to have to trim that piece. But let's put this down. That gold shifted quite a bit, so let's trim this down to make it look like it's supposed to be that way. I think Bob Ross would have called that a happy little accident. Now, make sure your card base is the right direction, and we're going to glue that right to there. Again, using my art glitter glue. Get that centered. Now, I'm going to use my old rubber stamping block just to hold that down for a moment. Now, I want to turn this into an Easter card, but I didn't have an Easter saying other than that one that I didn't really like. So I went to Cricut Design Space and I found this Easter Blessings. It was for cut out, but I had the pen draw it. And I want to fill in the Easter. I don't know if I want to use that pale pink or the pale blue. I'm going to go with the pale blue. Just fill that in a little bit. I haven't quite played around with the new Design Space to do a letter fill. So I'll just fill in my own letters here. I do love the new, where it puts a shadow layer on it. So that you don't have to use a plain old circle or a rectangle or a square. You can have it fit the word and give it a nice decorative layer. Yes, this blue looks nice. These are gel pens that I got from Amazon. It's the So Color gel pen set, 60 gel pens, and it comes with refills. This is a really nice set. It has almost any color you could think of. And I haven't even needed to use the refills yet. Okay, there it is. I got it, I want to say about 2 years ago now on a Black Friday deal. I think I only paid $20 for it at that time. There. Now see where we want to put that on this card. I think right there in the middle. And I am going to put that up also, and I'm not going to use my wide tape. I have these foam narrow strips. These I did get on Amazon also. I get a lot of these kind of things on Amazon because I live in a rural area, and to get to the nearest big craft store, I have to travel at least an hour. So Amazon delivers. Okay, peel that off. Putting on those trays has helped a little bit of organization, but I need an extra tray to put in my litter. We're going to put that right there. Now I have these flat back rhinestone embellishments that I thought would be pretty, but I'm not sure if I do want to put them on here. I'm thinking the pale. Oh yeah. Let's see, do I want to? Excuse me, while my mind goes on vacation here. Yes, we're going to put a blue one in the center here. So I know the blue and the blue are going to go here. Just to bling it up. I mean, we've got the gold sparkle already. We've got a little bit of glitter from the gel pen. But my mind is saying, sparkle that thing up. And I think I want to put the pastel purples on the pink flower centers. Let's see how that looks. Oh, I had one there on my finger. I like to take the glue that comes on these off if it's on a peel strip, because these could be like a solid line. Now that's 4, so it needs one more somewhere. Perhaps right there. No, there really isn't another place to put one. So I'm going to say that is plenty. All right, that's the card for today. Go watch Tina's video. It's a really long video, and she does other things with hers. But this was such a great idea that she had that I really had to try it, and I can see myself going crazy with this. If you have any ideas for a grunge card, or if grunge is your style, can you kind of help me figure out what to do with that one? And I want to do something with this watercolored one. And this is the one we did today. It's not quite dry yet. As you can see, it's still curled up. So it's going to be a little bit more vivid even. So I need to do something with those. But I see this panel right in here cutting that down and making a card out of it. That'll be in a couple of days, I believe. Tomorrow, I'm going to try and do a video that I saw. One of my favorite YouTubers is Marian Emberson, and she got this little mini pancake griddle, and she is doing some amazing things. She's using it a lot for embossing and embossing powders, but what inspired me the most to go out and buy this today for $8.98 at Walmart was the use of shrink plastic in these things. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. So tomorrow, that will be my project. I'm going to make a card with some little shrink plastic adornments. So I hope you stay tuned for that. It will try to be tomorrow unless this thing catches fire and I melt the house down and burn it out, you know, melt everything and burn the house down. But that's it for today. I got to go take care of my cat. Have a great rest of your day.